Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live today. Praise the Lord, Avengers Robin. How are you? And hopefully, you can hear me. I listened to the replay of last week and I barely could hear myself. So let me know if you can hear me before I get started. Can you hear me? Do I got to get a little bit closer? Oh, great, 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 great. Awesome. So, as today's topic states, God's road is less traveled, but holds the best promises. And we're going to really just dive in deep to that. Just dive in deep as to, why people don't want to travel on that road and they rather just go through things through life and not really have clarification or understanding of where they're going. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, these past couple of weeks. So, before I go any further, I'm so sorry. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. For those who are new, thank you for joining us and make sure you subscribe and like the video and just share it just to kind of get the word out to people. Um, and also, those who are returning, welcome back. You have been here, and this is the fifth video. We starting a brand new month, so it's great that today is November 1st, and we can just start the month off on a great note and in good standing. So, um, why do people not travel God's road, but want to travel the road that's most traveled? People would rather take the highway. Oh, I know how to get there based off the highway, but don't want to take the back roads to get to, where they want to go. But not understanding, yes, you're gonna in every way, shape, or form, you're gonna go through things. But I'd rather go through something to have something guaranteed and promised to me rather than just, walking through life and going through things blindly. So um that's pretty much what we're going to talk about today. And I love to just, and absolutely, a fresh start. Last month ended yesterday, and this is a brand new month. And it's not like a New Year's resolution or anything, but you always want to start, what happened and what was wrong last month? How can you fix it to not allow it to go into what you're doing this month? And here recently, with the videos that have been posted on my channel, we have been just digging into just implementing the Bible and God's word into your life and how it can change and do some wonderful things for you. We had the pastor on last week to kind of go over like how to, be born again and how to put Christ on. And then the prior to that, we talked about how to determine your purpose, how to walk in purpose, all of those things. And so this week, I want to kind of just tie everything together, and a lot of people choose not to travel on God's road because it's like I can't live my life to the fullest, or I can't do what I want to do with my life. But you got to come into a realization that the life that you're living was never yours. You are living in a world, you were placed here for a reason. So if you're not, you know, fulfilling what you need to do on this earth, he's going to find somebody else to do it. So just understand that regardless of if you do it or not, there's work to be done that needs to be done and that will get done if you don't even, comply with that. But what I don't understand is that people would love to just blindly go through life and go through things without a result or without any understanding as to, the end result of it. And so one thing that really um comes to mind was a quote that Myron Golden has said on one of his videos. And he said disruption always follows intention, right? And so a lot of people don't want to start anything because they know, like, oh snap, if I try to start this and this will happen. But stop asking yourself, um, but why, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does? We should reformat the question. Don't ask like, what if it doesn't? And always ask, okay, what would happen when it does work? What would how would I be, or how would I live my life when this happens for me? Right? We ask ourselves the wrong question. You're always going to get the answer to the question you ask. You're never going to get the answer to the question you don't ask. So if you're asking yourself, what if it doesn't work? You're only going to give yourself the answer of what if it doesn't work. But if you actually open your mind to, okay, what if it does? How would my life be if I was a millionaire? How would my life be if I could do the things that was appointed to me and just be peaceful and happy and have joy, 24/7? So, yes, reform the question. You have to reform the question. We are so stuck, and that is the devil is work. Let me tell you something. The devil is busy. And when you are living in your purpose and the thing that is made for you and what you are meant to be on this life for, um, you're gonna always have things happening. And I am definitely living proof of that right now. Um, but you can't allow that. He wants to throw you off track. He wants to put you back. Like there's um another road that's coming ahead. Like you can get back on the highway. Like you just take this road and you get there quicker. But you want to stay on the road that God has for you. You don't want to get off. You don't want to, take a shortcut or whatever the case may be, because that road and that location is never promised to you. Okay. But God gives us promises. He gives us reason. He gives us everything in his word. He gives us the principles. He gives us everything in his word. And all we have to do is apply it to our lives. And so, but some people don't. They just, oh, I don't want to be holy. I don't want to give up what I'm doing. I don't want to give up sin. Okay, but the wages of sin is death. Like that's the word. I didn't make that up. Okay? I didn't put that in the Bible. I didn't make that up. But the wages of sin is death. So if you keep sinning and you think that, oh, I'm getting away with it now, it's going to eventually catch up to you. Right? So a lot of people don't want to travel down God's road because it's like, okay, well, I have to live my life a certain way and I got to change who I am and I got to do certain things. We all change every year. We're getting older. Some of us is probably getting weaker. Some of us is getting stronger. So we're changing, but we're not changing the way we want to change. But understand that your life is not your own. You are living for God. You ain't living for nobody else. You're living for God to serve his people, right? So again, we were put on this earth for a reason. We are here to do a service for his people. So a lot of us, we get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm comfortable, I'm good, right? I'm working at a job that's paying me well. But that is the worst thing that you could possibly do to yourself is be comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, you're not leaning on him. You're not looking to him for answers, right? So you're always trying to, well, God, I did this, or I put in all the work, or I got myself a promotion. No, God blessed you to get that ability. So whenever you are comfortable, you take God out of everything, and it's always I, right? I want credit. I want this, or you turn your camera on for every little thing you're doing. People go out in the streets and showcase them giving them like giving homeless people, items and things. If you were that person, right? If you were at your lowest point, would you want somebody else to do that to you? Were you at your lowest point, somebody's taking out a phone, like a phone or a camera or whatever, what have you, and just recording themselves, giving you, gifts and giving you things. You have gotten your reward there. But God's reward is greater. Everybody wants to get credit then, right? We want stuff then. So us as Americans, and I'm talking to the US because all I can talk about is us, right? I don't know anything about any other countries, none of that. But we want things instant, microwavable, or drive through, right? We don't go in the stores no more if we don't have to. We want things quick, fast, in a hurry. So that's why we don't like try to go after different things because if I'm not making any money right away, I don't want to do it. And then we want it quick. Like if I do this, I need it quick. I need actions quick. But things take time. And that's why a lot of people don't want to travel that road of walking after God. Is because he's going to take his time forming you, right? It's not like you're going to be one thing today and be a whole completely different person tomorrow. No. The it's going to it clears you and cleanses you. And so I heard on a video today, right? And they were saying how the guy was asking, the little boy was asking his grandfather, like, why are you always studying the Bible? Like, you've read through this, but for all my life, I've seen you read this Bible. And he said, I got a better way of answering that question for you. He said, take that coal basket. The coal is what, they put in the burner or anything to to fire up the burner. And so he said, take the coal basket and run down to the river and get water and then run back, right? And so he was like, when he got back, there was no water in the basket. He said, "Oh no, it's not working." So he said, "No, run back. Go back and go get more water." Right? So he came back to the house where the grandfather was. And again, there was no water in it. He did it a third time. He said, "Go faster this time. Just go faster." Right? So he ran and got water. And he came back and was like, "Grandpa, there's no water in the basket." And he said, "Yes, but look at the basket. When you took it the first time, it was dirty, right? It was dirty. It was filthy. It was black because of the coal. But now that you have went 3 times to this river to try to fill it up with water, now it's clean." So the Bible purifies you every single time you open the Bible, every time you open the word. That's why you see a lot of people, it says, study to show yourself approval, rightfully dividing the word of God. Meditate daily, right? You have to take all of these because the devil is like he's all about confusion. He's all about trying to throw you off track. That's why God said, "I want you to be sober." You got to be sober to kind of hearken to Him, right? You can't be drunken. You can't be confused and think that you're going to read the Bible and understand it, right? You have to be still and you have to be willing to take it in. So we don't want to sit still. We don't want to be sober. We don't want to let go of confusion, right? So we allow the devil to just work in our lives and destroy us, pull us back, pull us down. He's going to always throw stumbling blocks to you, but it's up to you if you're going to give into it or work over it, right? Because you're going to always have challenges. He's going to always, if this is the question for you that you need to be asking yourself every time you go through, don't ask why. Take the why question out. Like she was saying, going back to it, you need to reform the question, right? Don't ask why. But if the devil is not working against you or trying to tear you down, you you need to be really questioning yourself because if he is not attacking you, then you're not doing something right, right? He because if he already has you, he won't be coming after you all the time. But when you are doing something wrong, he already has you. He don't have to work and put in overtime to kind of throw you off track because he already has you. So we got to get into a thing of Lord. You gotta be honest with yourself. Has the devil attacked you in the last, you know, um, in the last couple of days or what have you, right? You got to be honest with yourself. Yes, it feels like Lord, I cannot breathe. I can't, I feel like I can't come up for air, right? And so we want to get into a phase of Lord, use me, right? The devil went and asked for Job, like, I can take everything from around him, take everything from around him. We should be asking the questions like, why can't we be like Job? Why can't he use us in that way where nothing will take us away from him? Nothing will get in between our relationship with him. Because if you're looking for love, if you're looking for peace, if you're looking for joy, it is all in God. Everything that you're longing for and looking for, we sometimes look in the wrong places, right? And so we have to get into a point of, Lord, I surrender all to you. It was not my battle from the beginning. I surrender it all to you. I finally realized that I can't fight this battle alone. I can't do it for myself. So I want to give everything I have to you, my kids, my spouse, my job, everything, right? Because it's not your battle. And when you get to a point where you just give it all to him and just let him work, put on cruise control. I drive when I'm in Raleigh. I live in Raleigh. When I drive in cruise control because it's like it keeps me away from the cars. When a car comes, it brakes for me. Not saying that's the most safe and reasonable thing to do, but when you're in traffic and you look away for one quick second, something could happen. But that's how you should do with your trust. That's how you should do with all your problems. That you give it all to him. Just put it in cruise control. Let him handle it. It may not happen how you want it, when you want it, or where you want it to be. But I promise you, the end result of it all, once he's finished with whatever he's working on in your life, I promise you the outcome is going to be greater than anything you could have ever thought about. Anything. But we are in resistance to what he's trying to give us. We want things our way. We want things, to be on our timing. And so we create more chaos and more problems trying to determine, like, okay, maybe this is what I want. But are you ever asking, is this what God wants for me? And I don't think some of us do. I don't think some of us do. And I can tell you for a fact, I didn't do it before. I was one of those that ran. If being, and I said it last, if I could be mentally fit or my physical body could be as mentally fit as I was when I was running, I would be the most fit person in the world because I ran. And my mother would call me the prodigal daughter. I ran. I was like, I got time to be saved. I got time to live for God. I got time for all of these things. But he gives you warnings. Like I was telling you are you plugged in, right? He gives you those warnings. And so when I got those warnings, I got into a car wreck and I got all of these things happening to me. He was just like, Kayla, your life is mine. I'm in control. You keep trying to take the wheel. You keep jerking the wheel when I'm in control. You're hitting the brake to cancel out cruise control because you want to be in control. But you're never in control, right? So we got to get to a point where we just surrender it all. Things are going to happen. Tests are going to come. Trials are going to happen, regardless of if you save or if you're not. But I'd rather be on the good team and know I have promises, know what my promises are. Everything is laid out in the manual, in your Bible. Everything is laid out for you. If you do this, you get this. But he also tells you if you do that, this is what you get. right? So good or bad, he lays everything out for you. So it's up to us to implement that into our lives and live for him because there's no running. You can't just say, well, I want to shut out everything. There's only two masters. You either gonna serve God or you're gonna serve the devil. There is no ifs, ands, but there's no gray area. There's no I didn't know about it. None of that, right? Because the web is everywhere. They're preaching in different in we there's people that are preaching in America, but people internationally are looking at it. So you can never say it did not come to you, right? Or I didn't hear it. When you go to judgment that, oh, I didn't hear it. I didn't know what they were talking about. No, you had everything in your power to change your life. And so when you're living in your purpose, right? It's gonna be you have things attacking you, but you're less stressed because you know what the end goal is. You know what the promises are. You know what your assignment is. And that's what I want to get people to understand. Stop living for self. It was never about you. It was about being of servitude for others. They serve you, you serve them. If we just like in the military, right? That was your brother or your sister. You got their back. You protect as if you got their back, and they protect as if they got yours, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to us living. Jesus take the wheel. Absolutely. I gave it up. I gave up my will. I was done driving and not knowing where I was going or what I was doing. You have to get to a point in your life where you're tired. You're sick and tired of sick and tired and sick and tired of being tired. Okay? You have to be real with yourself. What did Pastor David say last week? You have to it has to start with a will in mind. I can talk to you all day. He can talk to you all day. Other people can talk to you all day. But it starts off with you. It's like, okay, I'm tired of, going through life, living check to check, doing this, doing that. I'm tired of that. I surrender all my problems, all my issues. That's all he wants you to do. Is stop thinking itself. Our thoughts is not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways. So if your way hasn't been working, what other way do you have? You have options. You can either work in your way or his way. And I realized my way was not going as I wanted it to go. How I pictured it in my head of things happening and like, oh, this is gonna be nice. And I realized I was in my head. I'm doing things for myself and not for others. I'm doing things selfishly and not thinking of others. What I'm doing is not benefiting nobody. So I had to get to a point where enough is enough and I'm living for God regardless of what happens in my life. And that's where you should go to. Because when you start living on purpose, living for Him on purpose, in purpose, the world changes. It's going to be rough, but understand disruption, as I stated, disruption follows intention. So I'm already forewarning you that when you go through your life, things are going to happen. Tests are going to come. Problems are going to arise. When you're walking in purpose, all of these things are going to try to throw you off track to kind of steer you back to that road that everybody's on. Because he does not want you to find out what your purpose is. But when you finally venture off and say, you know what? As she stated, Jesus take the wheel and you give him that wheel and allow him to drive you, move you, mold you, guide you. Nothing in your life could go wrong. Nothing. Right? And I know my mom probably is watching on Facebook and she wouldn't mind me sharing her testimony, but my mom has came from a mighty, mighty long way. And when you see a woman go through things and we struggle, and this is our testimony, it's not just hers, it's our testimony. When I was living back home, we at one point were struggling, right? And like bills and just providing. We were just struggling. It felt like we could not catch up, right? So I moved away, and my concern was I want to take care of my mom. So I would always like send money, or if she needed help, I'll try to help out as much as possible. But y'all, when I tell you the tables have turned, the tables have turned in her favor. My mama is a true woman of God. And every time I call her, if I have a problem, like at work with if I'm having issues, like I'm like, "Ma, being a mother, being a wife, whatever." And I make that call and I'm like, "Ma, I need help. I need your guidance," right? Or I start telling her certain things. What she tells me is read Psalms 91. I think that's her favorite line, read Psalms 91. When I went through postpartum, Kayla, open it and keep it open to Psalms 91, right? And I was like, but mom, but look, right now, this is what right now. No, Kayla, that's not how it works. Read Psalms 91. And she would say it in the same tone every single time. And so when I was going through postpartum, when I was going through certain situations and, all of that, it's a replay from my mom. She never steered away from God's word. Every time something was happening in my life, it was always God that she put in my view. Like I could never run from it. When I was 21 and I ran out thinking that I was getting away with stuff, right? Now this is a story that I'm probably gonna get in trouble for, but it's okay because I'm telling you, I'm doing this to help someone. So I'm getting in trouble for you. Remember that, okay? But when I was 21 and I thought I was getting away with sin, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I ain't gonna tell you what I was doing or what it was, okay? I'm just gonna say sin. And I pulled up to my mom's house. Okay, I was still living there at the time when I was 21. And I realized her car was not there. And that thought that went in my head, like, oh snap, what is happening? Right? My son is trying to get in, so y'all probably can't hear him. I'm sorry. I had to lock him out. But so whenever I got to my mom's house and I said, okay, where is she? And it dawned on me the only place that she could be at is the pastor's house. And so I was like, oh snap, what is happening? What is going on? And my brother was like, yeah, you in trouble. You definitely in some trouble. And I was like, so I want to really give acknowledgement to my mother because if she didn't keep praying for me, keep talking to God about me, keep me on a straight and narrow path, no telling what I would be into or what I'll be involved with, or if I would even be here to this day. Because the things that I was doing in my life was putting me down a path that was going to take me out of here. And I can honestly say that it's by the grace of God that I am still here today. So when I say that problems are going to come, when I say, listen, my mother, I'm 21. My mother is concerned about her 21-year-old daughter, her youngest, right? I'm out there doing stuff I ain't have no business. But guess what? But guess what? I'm still here because she was praying for me, even though I was not looking or wanting to go in the direction she wanted me to go. She still prayed, God, open her eyes. I don't know what the prayer was, but pretty much was probably like, open Kayla's eyes and let her see you how I see you. And when I tell you the tables turn, now I call my mom. Mom, I need some help. Mom, I need some gas money. Mom, I need this. I need that. And where we were struggling at one point, she is now blessed beyond measures. Okay? Beyond measures. My mother is blessed. And so when I look at her today and I see she's driving a brand new car and I see she has all of these, she bought a house. That was not in the works. When I was living there, that was not in the works. We struggle, right? We struggle. And so absolutely, we struggle. And so now I see how God and he I'm glad he did that when I left, how he showed like you don't need to be here. She don't need all these strings of income. She don't need you. She got me. You thought you was helping her. Yes, it's great that you were, wanting to do stuff for your mother. But I got her. Don't stress about her. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, right? And so now the older I get, the more I'm like, I want that. I want that type of faith. I want that type of love. I want that type of guidance. I want that type of strength, right? That's what I want. Because if she got through the toughest times of her life, right? So, yes, everybody's not traveling on down on that road that she was traveling on, but she stayed consistent. She stayed consistent regardless of what was happening in her life. So, my role model is my mother and some other phenomenal women in my church. They were my role models because regardless of what happened in their life, situations happen, things happen, right? Kids went out, spouse did such and such, or whatever. They stayed firm on I'm giving God all my problems. I know He gonna fix them. If I try to fix them, I know I'm gonna mess them up. So what I'm doing now, I'm getting older. Lord, here my kids. Here's my husband. Here's my finances. He is the expert in everything we're facing. Okay? Everything we're facing. So go to God. Ask him for guidance. I promise you. I promise you. You're not going to regret it. She doesn't regret it. I know for a fact she doesn't regret it. And if I had her on here, I'm trying to get her on here, y'all. I'm trying. But my mama's not a camera person. But I want her to really share her story because I feel like her story and things that happen in her life could really move mountains for people and give them some clarity and understanding of being a Christian is not a bad thing. Being a God fearing person is not a bad thing. Walking in holiness and walking in faith and walking in all is not a bad thing. The media makes it bad. Oh, when you give your life to Christ, this happens. But understand, when you give your life to Christ, He is the ruler of everything. Right? He is the ruler of everything. He can never go wrong. He can never go wrong. He would never steer you wrong. He's walked through this life. He walked through this life before we did. He's been in flesh. He knows how it feels to be in pain. He was beaten beyond recognition. So when you think that, oh, well, I got it hard, think of Jesus. When he was sold, right? He was sold by people that he loved. He was beaten. He was hung on a cross for 3 days. And he rose. He rose. Right? But he never backed down from his purpose. Miss Robin, if you're still on here, can you hear my son in the background? Or is it tuned out? Or I have the podcast where it's kind of tuned out because he is cutting up right now. But hopefully, I shed light to don't think that being saved or being a Christian or being, walking in faith or being godly is a bad thing or it's overrated or, who does that right now, right? Because It's your life, it's your soul, right? And I want to do everything I can to give y'all the jewels that have kept me through this life. I'm on borrowed time, so I'm doing everything I can to help others seek and find Jesus like I found, right? Because if it wasn't for my mother, if it wasn't for the saints that was praying for me, others that was praying for me, I would not be here. I wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. But I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and I'm honored to continue to walk in God's will. I didn't think it was, I felt like it wasn't for me, but He showed me I had no other choice. That it's either my way or no way. So, that, my friends, my sisters, my brothers, that is it. And I hope and pray that everything came to you well. And if y'all have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram. My name is the same as my handle right here, Kayla C. Flegel. And or you can scan the QR code right over my shoulder. So if there's anything I can do for anybody, steer you. And if I don't know the answers, I will go get the answers for you because I don't know everything. I'm still a work in progress. But I'm grateful I'm not where I used to be. But I'm fighting to get where I need to be. So with that, y'all, we're gonna cut this short because my son is back there cutting up. I am a mother, a wife. This is reality. Okay. So to tend to my baby, I'm gonna cut this short. I hope this is a blessing to someone. And again, like, comment, subscribe. Don't leave this channel without subscribing. If you ain't subscribed yet, you are not part of the Cool Kids crew. Okay. So y'all be blessed. Take care. And I'll see you next Wednesday for another episode on Let's Speak. Y'all take care.